This time we have a Diamond Vision Combo. This is a 14-inch TV with a hi-fi VCR and a DVD player. And on this one, the complaint is the VCR is not working. We're going to have to take this one apart. This is quite the unit to disassemble and see what's going on with the VCR. This is why service people just hated these ones. Designs like this. It's an absolute joke. Here's another little combo unit. This is a Diamond Vision, and it is a TV, VHS, and DVD player all in one. Kind of like these ones because it does everything, you know. You carry one little TV. Great like for a bedroom or something, or a small place where you can just play anything. You can play any media, DVD, VHS, plug in your game console. I think it's got stereo sound. It'll do everything. Small little CRT. Fine for your standard definition stuff. These were quite popular back in the day. A lot of times these ended up in like kids' rooms and stuff, right? They get a small TV for the youngsters to play their games and stuff on. I don't know anything about this. I'm not gonna try anything until I get it apart. Here's the inside of this one. A little bit more happening in this one than the other set. The TV board, of course, is right over top. You got the DVD player here and the VCR underneath it. Yeah, this is going to be a fun one to service. You can just tell. The power supply over here. Let's just see what it's doing. Alright, power on. We'll turn on. Okay, I see a picture there. Let's just throw a tape in it and see what it does. It's in DVD mode right now. Video 2, DVD. I guess that's VCR mode. It's a hi-fi VCR at that. No picture. VCR eject. I don't know if there's anything on that tape. We'll try the color bar tape. No, actually, you know what? I'll try this tape. Let's see if I get a picture. I got snow. Almost like the heads are clogged. Is it the heads that are clogged? Maybe. Maybe the heads are clogged on it. Maybe that's all it is. The $60,000 question is, oh, how easy is it to get to the heads to clean them? And I'll say it's not. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. You want to see a joke? Look at that. Look at on the side here. They just used a patch cord to connect the tuner to the back. And it's already had. What the hell is that? That fell out of it. Yeah, that doesn't look good. What, you know, that fell out of this set. I don't know what it is, but it ain't supposed to be there, that's for sure. I wonder what the best way to tackle this is. I think I gotta lift the TV board off so that I can at least get in behind the shield and see if I can clean the heads. So I've got a couple screws here to remove, and then maybe I can lift the TV board out of the way. Looks like I have to give myself some more slack. We'll just cut off some zip ties, and no, I won't be putting them back on. Extra parts, as they say. Won't hurt it if they're a little bit too long. board out of the way so that I can get to the components behind it, namely the VCR. And this is one that they haven't made it real easy because it's got some tight cables down here as well that are, not a lot of clearance on them. I'm hoping I can get the loosen off this cover enough to get in there to clean the heads. I don't know how far we're going to get into the VCR on this. It might just be dirty heads. That's what I hope, but I won't know until I can actually see what's going on. It might even not be threading correctly for that matter. But we got to get in there to see what's going on, and that means getting the shield out so that I can actually observe and try to clean the machine. I had to remove 2 more screws to slide the whole chassis back. Then I can remove these 2 screws on the top, and that should let me lift off the VCR, or lift off the DVD player and the top of the VCR so that I can see the actual VCR, because I can't see the VCR yet. It's all covered up here. Guess I have to remove the DVD player from this as well. And you wonder why service people hated these machines. With a passion. We really did hate these machines. Every last one of them. And ones I especially loved was the guy that would bring one in and the heads were clogged, and you'd spend like an hour taking it down to clean the heads, and then he gets home and he puts the same tape in, usually a kid's tape, that caused the problem in the first place, and the heads get contaminated again. He comes back and wants it done for free, and we're like, nope, gonna cost you another $100. Now, will this cover come off now? It should lift off now so that I can actually just see the VCR. There we go. Okay, that's where we're at now. Now I want to power this thing up and see if it's just dirty heads. Let's put this tape in and observe what it does. The tape's moving. I don't have a picture. We'll try cleaning the heads. Just a blank screen, just snow. I'll just use the fingernail on the back side of the head here and see if it's clean or it's dirty. Because I bet you the heads are just dirty. Yeah, that's all it is. The heads are just completely clogged. Now I have a picture. We'll use the mirror, the DVD player mirror, to show it. I'll tell you another funny story, because I told the story in the last video, but I cut it. So, I store a lot of stuff up high, as you can see. Cans of cleaner and stuff get stored up high. And I did that at the shop that I worked at too. And I remember one day, the boss, well, he'd get in the back and, he'd putter around in the back while I was off on Saturdays. And one day he was, my boss at the time, he was a tech, but he was a tech at one point, but he was not a very good tech. That's why he hired me, because he couldn't do anything himself, but he'd try. And anyway, he was reaching for a can, and now I'm 6'2", and he was maybe 5'10", 5'11". He was shorter, right? So vertically challenged, as we call it. Suffered from small man syndrome. Drove around in a great big huge vehicle. Anyway, one day he's reaching for a can of cleaner that's on the shelf. And he knocked it down and it landed on a CRT that was on the bench that I had left apart over the weekend because I was working on it. I finished up at quitting time and it wasn't fixed, so I just left the set there for the weekend. He knocks his can down, it lands on the CRT. So I show up for work Monday morning, and it's my fault. And he's actually expecting me to pay for a picture tube on a TV that he broke. It's my fault because I put the can of contact cleaner in a spot above the bench on a shelf. There was a shelf above the bench, but the shelf was like 8 feet in the air, and I could easily reach it, and he couldn't. It was my fault. It was also my fault when I was working on a microwave oven, and I got a good jolt of about 4,000 volts into my hand. And it was because I was using some tools, kind of like these ones here, that were wrapped up in tape, which you should never do, by the way. You should never wrap your tools up in tape. If the insulation's cracked, throw them away. I was holding it where it should have been insulated, and I was disconnecting a magnetron to see whether the problem was a shorted magnetron or whether it was a stacked diode that was bad. Because we had no voltage and it was just humming, and we didn't know, is it the diode that shorted or is it the magnetron? So you disconnect the leads from the magnetron, and if it pulls an arc when you disconnect the leads, then you know, okay, it's the magnetron that's bad. And actually, I think I had it disconnected. I just had it touching against the terminal, and I went to reach and grab it like this with the pliers. I went to pull it away, but the pliers made contact with the energized terminal, and because the insulation was cracked, it went into my hand, and I basically gripped down onto the pliers and actually bent them. The current was going in through my hand, and it was coming out of my forearm because my arm was leaning against the. I had my one hand in my pocket, so I was not getting electrocuted. I had rubber sole shoes on, so I'm not going to get electrocuted, but I couldn't let go, so I had to jump, and I jumped back to break free. And anyway, I landed on a TV that was sitting on top of another TV because we were so backed up with stuff that we had stuff stacked up, and it knocked it over, Sony, and it fell over and it broke the cabinet. The actual plastic cabinet got broken. The owner of the store made me buy the customer a new TV, deducted it from my paycheck, and I got to take the 21-inch Trinitron home, which I still have. I have it in storage. 21-inch. Used to be in the shop here. I had it up on that. I used it as a monitor like 10 years ago. If you look at some of my older videos, you'll see it. But it's got a crack right across here in the front bezel, and it was not available, the part. So my piece of shit boss that I had made me buy a customer like an $800 TV because it got knocked over because I was trying to break free from being electrocuted because he was too cheap to buy the right tools. The tools were damaged. And then he said to me, if you're not happy with the tools I supply, buy your own. That was the piece of work that I worked for. He was a nasty person. This one here just needed the head cleaning on it. So a lot of work just to clean the heads, but it's working. I haven't listened to the sound because the speaker terminals are here, and of course the speakers are unplugged. I'm sure that they are working. But time to throw this one together. And then we'll test the DVD player and everything as well. But that works. I'll make sure all the modes work on here. Play. Reverse. This is reverse search. That's working. Back to play. Forward search. Yeah, that's working. Stop. Full fast forward. Well, I guess that's eject on this. Got a separate stop button. That's eject. Stop. Rewind. Fast forward. Back to play. Picture, eject. Now to spend an hour putting this thing back together. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Love these things. And if you believe me, I have a bridge to sell you. Double shielding. That's over the head. Because of interference that would be created from all the electronics on these things. Mount the TV chassis back into the main cabinet, and then I'll test it before I put the whole entire unit back together. Make sure that it works. Alright, now I should be able to fire it up. Make sure that everything kind of works before I throw it back together for the final time. A blue screen. Play. I have a picture. That's good. We'll do the DVD player next. Make sure that that works. Close it. It's spinning. I'll show you guys the picture once I get it together. I'm just kind of confirming it for myself now. You guys can't see it, but it is playing. This is probably the easiest part. Just turn it around. Make sure that we've got our speaker wires and stuff aren't being trapped on anything. Okay, got that in place. Speaker wire out of here. Chassis slides in. I got to open the tape door by hand, and then this whole thing should just slide back in. It should. That's the word. It's sticking on something. It's the effing decodging coil. That's what it's sticking on. Get that out of the way. Hold the tape door open, and it goes back in. And then there's a couple screws we're gonna put in to hold the chassis in place. Wasn't so bad, you know, just these two screws, and then the whole chassis slides out. The problem with this is to clean the heads. You got to tear this all. You got to take out this board. You got to take off the DVD player. You got to take off the shielding. That's the problem with these designs. Some of them were easier to work on than others, but this is not one of the easy ones to work on. Okay, we got our speaker plugs here. Plug those in. Alright, power on. DVD player test first. Play. Yeah, the recording's like that. The head's clogged on the DVD player when I was burning the disc. It'll clear up. There we go. Yep, we have stereo sound. That works. And the VCR works. So that's another one that's fixed. I don't think you guys need to see me throwing the back on this one, so I'll say thanks for watching. Getting the backs on these is sometimes a challenge. I hate them.